What advice do you have for a man that's not ready to commit and may be intimate with others after 3 months of dating? He says he's not dating, but my intuition reads otherwise. I communicated what I wanted, but didn't receive clarity. So, with a guy that's not ready, right? So a guy who's not ready, but he may be intimate with others after 3 months of dating. So we're going back to the whole thing about shining the light, right? You shine the light and you say, this is what I want. Well, the man gets to decide whether he takes you there. And what they found, they've actually done research on this. And what they found is that men know around the around the 6 to 8 month mark, almost all men know what kind of a relationship they want with the woman that's in their lives. So up to the 3 month point, right? It takes about 3 months before people start really showing their true colors to you. And so you want to be careful up to that 3 month point that you're not getting too attached to him, not getting too involved with him, not making it all about him. Make sure you're still seeing other people. Make sure that you still have an abundance of options and an abundance of connection, because if you don't, what's going to end up happening is you're going to get attached to him. He's going to start showing some of his true colors. And then you're going to be like, is this really what I want? Is this really the person that I want? But if you're already attached and you're already all the way in, and he hasn't decided that you're the right person for him, that, all these different things, right? So basically, don't jump in the pool. The metaphor is don't jump in the pool before he's decided that he wants to get in with you. In other words, don't commit to him before he's committed to you. So if he says to you that he's not ready to commit, right, or that he doesn't want a commitment, just say, fine. How, do you know when you're going to want a commitment? Do you know when you'll be ready to have a commitment? Right. And most guys will know, right? They'll say, oh, it'll be, I've got this thing that's going on at work and I'm just not ready for it yet. Or, I'm just not sure about you or life or, what I want or any of that kind of stuff. Or he might say, I know it's going to be in 3 weeks. There's just this thing that I have to do. And after that, or, I've got to go and travel, or it could be like, it might be a few more years, I'm just out of a relationship and I'm not ready. Right. And so you want to ask him and just see what he has to say. And then what you want to do is you want to, because most times when people say this, what ends up happening is the guy gives this long time frame, right? That's somewhere between 3 months and like 10 years. And so what you want to do is just pull back, right? Make sure that you're not getting too attached to him, not getting too involved with him, and pull back, do all the things that we're talking about with an abundance of options, an abundance of connection, and make sure that you're not getting attached to this guy and sitting around and waiting for a guy who's not committed to you, doesn't want a relationship with you necessarily, where you're just, waiting for this chance to have this thing happen with him, right? And so if he tells you that he's unsure, he doesn't really know, he doesn't know, when he's going to want that, and he doesn't know what he wants or any of that kind of stuff, right? If he starts acting flaky, insecure, unsure, doesn't know what he wants, any of that kind of stuff, what you do is you say, okay, great, no problem. Let me know when you figure yourself out and decide what you want. And if I'm still single, then maybe we can still talk about it, right? And then what you want to do is you want to give him the gift of missing you by pulling away and going out and dating other people and seeing other people and finding somebody that actually does want to move things towards the relationship that you want to move things towards. And if he comes back, which he might, right? I had a woman a couple of weeks ago who was in a very, very similar situation where the guy that she was seeing was pulling away. He was confused, right? He was confused. He was kind of pulling away sometimes and didn't know what he wanted and all that kind of stuff when she talked to him. And I gave her that exact thing to say to him. And he ended up leaving for about a week. And then he came back and he was like, you're the only one I want. I was being an idiot. Let's do this. I'm committed to making this happen. I don't want anybody else. you're it for me. Like, let's do this, right? And now they're in a committed relationship and they're talking about the future together and all these different things because what she's, because she knew she was awesome. He knew she was awesome, right? And she said, hey, I'm willing to walk away if you're not willing to be in this all the way, right? Which is the situation you want to be in. If you want a committed relationship, if you want everything, the first thing that you need to do is you need to believe that you deserve it. You need to believe that you are worth it. You need to believe that you're somebody that a guy would want to commit himself to, somebody that he'd want to be with in the kind of relationship that you want to have. And when you come from that belief system, all of a sudden, these guys will start believing it as well, right? You'll start communicating that, and if they aren't willing to believe it, they'll end up leaving, or you'll end up leaving, right? If they aren't willing to agree to that, if they're not willing to do that. Number two is you need to put yourself into a position of value where you have an abundance of options with men, you have an abundance of connection, so that you're not relying completely on him to get this, right? And then the third thing is that you need to communicate your standards, communicate in a high value way, which is your standards, your boundaries, and walking away if it is in a situation that serves you, right? And once you come from that position, it's a lot easier to get into the kind of relationship that you want to have and not end up in a situation where because we have women in our community who came into our community and they had been seeing these guys in these uncommitted situations for years, right? In one case, it was over a decade, right? Actually, a couple cases, we've had women that were seeing guys for over a decade where it wasn't committed. They thought maybe it was committed, but he wasn't. He was like, oh, no, we're just friends, just hooking up buddies and stuff, right? And you're only in kind of a 3-month kind of situation, but you want to make sure that you're getting yourself into the best situation that you can, that you're not getting attached to him, that you're not placing all your bets on things working out with him, and instead having him trying to compete for your time, your attention, and proving to you that you're the woman that he wants. And so yeah, I hope that answered your question. That was a full getting your money's worth right here. All right, so let's see.